Thank you, Dr. Nikhil, and it's my privilege to kickstart this cornea subspecialty day. So today I would take you through how to read a topography map, majorly for major platforms. And as we know, there are a lot of options today. As a cornea refractive surgeon, you have basically into reflective and elevation based, and these are few machines which are popular and available for our use today. So I'll be covering the Pentacam and OpScan, which is on the elevation side, and the Oculizer and OPD3 scans, which is on the Placido side today. So as soon as you get a printout, a patient may come for an opinion with another topography. It's first important to see if your topo map you're reading is reflection or elevation. So how do you know? So reflection topography or a Placido-based scans would have most of a shape or curvature map like a topography or a refractive power, whereas elevation maps will have more of an anterior elevation, posterior elevation. It will have a lot of thickness parameters and anterior chamber parameters. So as we know, Pentacam is Schleimpflug based, and there are a lot of options or maps which are available. But most often what the patient would bring to you is this quad map. Now, before you start analyzing, it's very important that you mentally segregate any map into areas. And I always start with a demographic to make sure I'm seeing the same patient, and always check for your quality. So the patient might have moved while doing a scan, and how do you know it's a reliable scan? So in Pentacam, it's a very good way to check it is called QS. Only if it is white, you go ahead. Anything red and yellow, always ask your technician to go back and redo it. And parameter standardization is a huge topic on itself, but I will give you two examples. Now, these are three maps, elevation of the same patient. The only difference here, I've made it in different color scales. And here again, a mild, moderate, severe keratoconus. Actually not, it's the same patient's cones, but the steps are different. So I always make sure your steps are arranged so that your mind and brain picks it up well, and make sure your steps are uniform, and your technician always gives a print in the same value. So there are a lot of recommenders. This is by Professor Bellin, and you can mildly tweak it and see how you want your scans to appear. Now, elevation maps are a boon in corneal management today. So as you have a gold standard of a sea level in your Earth's tomography, your machine creates a best fit sphere, and we all know that hot colors are any part of the cornea above it, and cold colors are any part below it. So we know this magic numbers of 15, more than 15 in the anterior elevation and more than 20 in the posterior elevation is a sure sign of an abnormal cornea. And also another parameter which will help us many times is in the same point in the central 3 to 4 mm, if there is a difference of 5 microns in the anterior posterior, again something to watch out for. And also look at the pattern. Pattern is not only for the sagittal curvature, but also for your elevation maps. So this is a typical saddle pattern, which is on the left side, which an astigmatic cornea would look at. And the right side is an island pattern. So in the saddle pattern in the periphery, you may have very high values, but you can just ignore that because the cornea itself is normally made like that. Now, coming to the K readings and the topography. So on the top left, you have the SIM-K, and another good thing I like on these topographies is the K-max, so 42.6. So they're very useful to follow up if you're looking at us, picking up early progression keratoconus. And also KPD is a good value, which basically shows the keratometric power of your posterior curvature. So anything more than 1.5 is suspicious. Now, I would say tangential or sagittal maps has been a gold standard in corneal topography, especially from the Placido era. So I'll just spend a minute or two on analyzing the patterns, because the same flow goes into all the other three topography map reading. So these are the various patterns which are possible, and you can divide them into symmetric patterns like an oval, round, or bow tie. So as soon as you say symmetric pattern, you know your cornea is probably normal. Only if it is very steep, like more than 47, then that can be a red flag sign of a central keratoconus. And asymmetry is the next four patterns. So you can have a superior steepening or an inferior steepening. So basically, it is a difference of the power of your upper and lower part. So superior steepening of more than 2.5 and an inferior of more than 1.5, again, is a red flag sign. Skewing, I would say, is quite pathognomic of keratoconus or any ectasia or scars, where the angle between your prime meridians are more than 22 degrees. So these are the things you look down at the pattern, and a lot of abnormal patterns which shows that your cornea is not normal. So word on the pattern. So all the maps I showed you now was in a sagittal view, but you can also make it into a tangential view where you actually lose the pattern which I showed you, but it actually emphasizes your small cones. Like if you look at the left eye in the sagittal, it's almost looking normal, but in the right eye, you see that early ectasia in the inferior part. So you need to be aware of something called tangential maps and turn on tangential whenever you feel you need to look at the smaller detailing. Now, pachymetry map, all of us know 470-48 is alert in our brains, but also look at smaller things like if the thinnest point is 10 microns lesser than the central, then that is a suspicious sign. And also look at the superior inferior asymmetry of your pachymetry along with your topography. So at the 4 mm, if there's a difference of 30 microns with upper and lower, again, that is something you should look at. Now, migration of a thinnest point has been well described, and basically the farther the thinnest point is from the center, the more chances that it could be a keratoconus. So the cut lines here are 500 would be borderline, and anything more than 1 mm, I would say certainly is an abnormal cornea. Now, any topography machine also gives you a lot of keratoconic indices like the ones mentioned here, but I would say this is more popular in the Placido error. And you can take it many times. You see that they appear normal, but with a pinch of salt, you can see which of the indices are abnormal and correlate with the elevation and the topography. So you have a lot of authors giving you cutoff value. So before I proceed to the next, I would say 3 things. When you're reading a topography map, see the maps that are available. Is it a pachymetry topo or an elevation? Know the patterns which are normal and abnormal. Look at the values. So you should know the cutoff values of each topography and just see if the steepest and the thinnest are matching. And also all the machines give you a keratoconus indices. So it's up to you to see how important they are and take it along with the other ones. So once we know the basics, I think reading any other maps becomes quite simple. There are a few differences between each of the machines. So OpScan has a combination of Placido and a scanning slit, and this is a typical printout. So this was very popular before the Pentacam. So let us go through a few parameters. So the top part shows the best fit sphere. So if the ratio between anterior and posterior surface is more than 1.21, then it's a red flag sign. Also look at the steepness of the BFS. So if it is more than 55 diopters, again, that is something you need to look out. So I've done the math in this case and it's 1.28, which is certainly abnormal. And the most elevated point is shown here as diff, and if that is more than 45 on the posterior, again, abnormal. The Roche criteria, again, a popular one. You see the steepest and the highest and the lowest areas. And if it is more than 100, then again, that is a red flag sign. And when you look at the middle map, you look at the irregularity index. So anything more than 1.5 at the 3 mm zone and 2 at the 5 mm zone is abnormal. So there's nothing different on the axial map, the same parameters as I told you in a Pentacam map. In Pachy, look at the thinnest, which is mentioned here. Anything less than 470 is a suspicion. And you can also look at the difference between the thinnest and the thickest area at the 7 mm zone, as I've shown here. So if the difference is more than 100, then again, something to look at for. So again, a 1 abnormal map caution, 2 is concern, and 3 is a contraindication. So you can pin this up in your OPD and for ready view. So the other 2 machines basically are Placido based. I use the Nidec extensively. It has a simple Placido based topography, but also a lot of other features, including aberrometry, lot of scans it produces, but this is how the corneal display looks. So this
sum up, Deepa, we are nearly finished. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So same thing too, you have the tangential maps, you have the axial map, then you have the elevation wave maps. So elevation wave maps on the Placido are not very important. I feel the way they're calculated is not good for us to take any inference. And these are the indices which are available. And it also differentiates the cornea into normal, astigmatic, keratoconus, and post-refractive surgery. So a lot of parameters are given, and most of these scans usually give a color coding. So if it is red, then that parameter is abnormal. So a lot of other features on the OPD3 scan, including simulation. So I'll quickly run through the keratograph, which has a very good added feature of dry eye assessment. So again, here you have the same tangential, axial map, elevation and refractive map. And again, it gives an analyzed area, which should be more than 70. And it also gives a lot of keratoconus indices, which I'll show you in the next here. So these are the indices which are given by this Placido machine. So to sum up, I would say, I'll sum it up with this case where you have a very steep in the posterior, it's almost 50. This is a Pentacam. corresponding very thin area of 400. So it looks like a keratoconus, but bang on. When you look at the topography map, it's flat rather than steep. So this is a patient with a corneal scar. So the machines do not diagnose. It's up to us how we use these machines. So always clinically correlate. And I think topography today is in top of its technology and it's really helped us manage our refractive and keratoconic patients. So always split up your map and have a protocol so that you don't miss any of these. And I thank you for